A 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Here at BV, the music production professor is Dr. David Klee.
That'll work. I wrote it right. I rewrote the part.
My name is Dr. David Klee. I'm the Associate Professor of Music here and the Director of Jazz Studies and Music Production and Technology. Well, when I first started, I was playing nightclubs in Tampa, Florida. And from there, I ended up going on the road and touring the entire East Coast.
He had been a professional jazz musician.
Resort hotels, played in the Pocono Mountains, Miami Beach, played on cruise ships.
Played a number of musical instruments.
Professionally, flute, clarinet, saxophone, electric bass.
He's had a whole career as that.
And then I heard there was an audition to play bass for the country RCA recording artist Jazzy Bailey, who was based in Georgia. So I went there and I auditioned, and it was actually a 3-day live audition on the job. So I did that and I passed and I got in. And when I started working for Jazzy, I got to actually hang out and play a lot with national level country musicians.
One of his stories that always kind of stuck out to me was when he mentioned that he actually played bass with the Temptations.
So eventually I got to play with people like Johnny Lee Johnson, the Allman Brothers. I got to play and meet the rest of the Allman Brothers band. I got to work with Charlie Daniels band, Marshall Tucker band, a lot of those Southern rock guys.
Knowing that he's done so many big things in the industry and worked with so many big acts, it gives you a sense of respect towards the guy, and it really makes what he has to tell you really stick with you.
I was very blessed and I knew it, because when I first broke in Tampa, Florida, playing nightclub, our first nightclub gig was the best hotel in town. There were guys I knew had been playing for 20 years and hadn't gotten in. We were just very lucky, had to be in the right place at the right time. They were looking for a band with no track record. They wanted a young band, and we were young. In fact, only one guy in the band was old enough to drink. And so we got in and we ended up getting a year contract right off the bat.
His frail little hands are so good when he plays bass. It's like he can slap and pop really quickly. He can do all that sorts of stuff, and it's very impressive and really humbling to watch.
We were playing a music job in Alabama somewhere at a big bluegrass festival. There was like 5,000 or 10,000 people out there, and it was a whole lot of fun. And Jazzy left the stage, and this one group asked if they could come sit in for a while. And they sat in for about an hour. A bunch of young guys with black hair, and really, really nice bunch of guys. I didn't think nothing more of it. And then she said, "Do you remember that particular group that you were up there with?" I go, "Okay." Then she actually had the picture. She showed me the picture. She said, "I took a picture of that." She said, "Do you realize who that group is now?" I said, "No." She said, "It's the group Alabama." So I thought that really stuck out for me. I remember I was backing up an Elvis impersonator once. And this is why Elvis was alive. Even the Elvis impersonator was making over $100,000 a year. You know, the ladies in the audience were going crazy. And finally, after about the second set, the ladies literally overran the police security, ran on the stage, ran over the band, and chased the Elvis impersonator all the way out the back door down the street, tearing off his clothes.
Literal, like we should move, or?
Well, think about it. We might do that in this one song, just because of it.
I was Associate Dean of Faculty when we had to hire to fill that position. And so I was out of this office and up in Dixon Islanders working and looking for folks who could come in and take over the jazz band. What we really care about too is that expertise, that practice, what is his background, and then had teaching. And then unusually, he also has a doctorate in his field, which is a bit uncommon for that field. And so, yeah, he certainly came to our attention and rose in the pool almost immediately.
Well, I've always loved teaching, and I knew I was going to come back someday to be a teacher. And when I had the opportunity to go back, I never stopped. Well, once I completed my doctorate, as we all know, college jobs are very competitive, and you have to go where the jobs are. So I was on a national job search, and I was actually asked to come to a live interview for about 3 jobs, and this was one of them. And as soon as I came here, I just felt like I was right at home.
Yeah, learning from Dr. Klee has been awesome. I really couldn't have asked for more, especially with it being such a small school, getting to, have kind of, I guess for lack of a better term, intimate class time with your professors, especially in a field like this, which is so hands-on. It's really a definite plus. I don't feel like I really would have been able to get anywhere else.
He and I are both members of the School of Communication and Arts. And one of the things that happened when Dr. Klee arrived was he said, well, jazz is great, and I'm going to be a performer in the area, and I'm going to be a director in the area, and we're going to have good jazz on campus, but we really ought to do something else and have a music production major that would interest students.
Here it's the opportunity where I can literally do my own thing. I'm left alone to where I can develop the jazz program, and developing the music production program has been really, really exciting for me. Well, I would love to see it go to the point we could actually enter collegiate level jazz festivals. That would be my goal someday.
You tell me.
Well, they hold jazz festivals here in the United States and in Europe. And you can go just to participate, or you can go for competition, just like in Iowa, the high school jazz festivals. You can actually do that. And it would just be a great experience for our guys here because they would get to hear what the big leagues sound like. Well, my name is Dr. David Klee. I'm the Associate Professor of Music here and the Director of Jazz Studies and Music Production and Technology.
If somebody was looking at coming to BV for something like music, I would definitely mention Dr. Klee as both a professor or just a mentor.